Sotiris Stasinopoulos, bioengineer, inventor, entrepreneur, and athlete. Sotiris is an expert in electrical and computer engineering with a doctorate of expertise in automation and robotics. He is the founder and CEO of several technology businesses, including Popular Robotics, located in China. Sotiris is dedicated to the mission of bringing robotics and artificial intelligence to the general populace through education and social networking. Besides his love for technology, Sotiris is an amateur rugby player and passionate competitor. Meet Sotiris.
Hello everyone, με λένε Σωτήρη Στασινόπουλο και είμαι από την Ελλάδα. My name is Sotiris Stasinopoulos and I come from Greece. I've been in Beijing for 9 years now. I came here to do an internship. I continued to study my PhD in robotics, and after that I worked and I started my own company in robotics and AI here in Beijing as well. So my company is called Popular Robotics, and we are trying to build services and products for people in the robotics and AI industries to facilitate them and to grow the community of people that are passionate about robotics. Well, for one thing, for sure is exciting. Things are moving really fast, especially in the last decade with all these developments in neural networks and AI progressing really fast. But on the other hand, sometimes you really need to learn how to slow people down a little bit and limit their expectations, because from what they've been seeing in the AI films, they have these huge expectations and they think things are going to be happening by tomorrow. But sometimes you need to know how to tell them, okay, we still have some time ahead of us and robots are not going to take over the world tomorrow. So that's more or less it. The first time we heard about COVID-19 was because I live in Beijing. It was actually pretty early on. We heard back in January that there was this new disease coming along, and we thought, okay, what we're gonna do about it? Are we gonna stay in China, where it seemed to be the epicenter? Are we gonna go back to other countries or to our home country? So it was a little bit of a mess back at that time, but we decided to stay in China. Of course, the changes were dramatic in all kinds of interactions with people, because this disease actually is making us stay away from people. So we really needed to, first of all, get alienated from our friends, from our family. For example, like I used to go back to Greece once or twice a year, and I haven't gone back to my country for more than a year now because of this, and because flights had been canceled and you can't exit China, for instance, and come back easily. So a lot of changes into how you interact with people. You had to change into seeing everybody virtually, which is all right, I guess, but it doesn't have the same level of intimacy. The changes were actually very big in almost all sectors. Of course, there were some industries that were not affected as much because they were actually used to working a little bit remotely. But most of the industries, they really relied on people getting together on an everyday basis and working together and producing results. And some industries were actually even more heavily affected, because they are actually depending on people getting together. So people in restaurants, people in the hospitality industry, they actually had to change completely or stop their operations. But on my personal, let's say, experience, because what we do has to do with technology, we felt this impact. On one level, it kind of made things a little bit more difficult until you found the way to go around it. So you had to transform a lot of your operations from this office work to this remote online work. So this was a change. But after that, we actually saw that this could also work quite efficiently. We actually are seeing this every day, and this COVID-19 crisis actually brought progress in this field of 5 to 10 years faster. So from, let's say, remote work, this is like one really big, let's say, field that you can see this big change. People now don't really need to go to offices. like we had seen this starting. A lot of people were choosing remote work, but nobody was actually saying that this was mainstream. And during the COVID crisis, this became mainstream. And people see now that maybe there is no need to return back to the old normal. Let's say what we're talking about, the new normal. People not needing to be in one place to work with their colleagues. People being able to work from different cities, different countries of the world together through remote work. So professionally, that has affected people a lot. But also personally, of course, you want to be meeting your friends and your family, let's say, more frequently. But with technology, you can actually call them, video call them almost every day. So these changes, of course, maybe some people can advocate that can bring a little bit of loss of intimacy, but they can actually enable us to work in a global village, as we call it. Our world can now become something of a bigger place, a bigger land of opportunity. Actually, the first time I heard about the Great Human Connection was directly from the founder of the organization, Matteo Casto, and it was during a lunch with common friends, and he was so passionate about this new idea of getting people together that it actually attracted me to this whole, let's say, connecting people, this idea of connecting people. So I was very interested to see how this would evolve and how it could also be part of such a great community, and to help people through sharing my story, and to also listen to other people's stories about how maybe COVID in the beginning may have affected our lives, but like essentially how people can use and take advantage of their connections to actually become better people. So this is why I was interested in the first place. Personally, I think that it's interesting to see how different people from different cultures have, let's say, different ways of reacting and connecting. The connection patterns for me, a person from Greece, let's say, that has a sort of mentality that is quite open and, let's say, very, let's say, hospitable, how easy it is for us to make some connections may not be the same case for other people. So it is interesting on a personal level to see how I can fit other people's connection patterns and how to, let's say, evolve as a person to match other people's connection patterns, maybe that don't match my own, let's say, upbringing or my own, let's say, personal culture. And on the other hand, I do think that this is really important for somebody as myself, a leader of a company, because I do think that by understanding people better, you can be a better leader for people, and you can actually manage people much better, because people don't have the same way to react to situations. They don't have the same way to react to other people or how to create bonds with other people, because within a company, you really want people to be connected with each other, to understand each other. And this is not always easy. So sometimes you need to be a really good judge of character and to be able to understand people much better in order to help them connect with each other, to be the best people that they can, to be the best employees that they can, to be the best team players that they can. To me, human connection is how people can relate to each other, how people can understand each other, and how they can help each other to become better individuals, but also better members of a big group.